In As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson portrays Melvin Udall, a misanthropic, yet eccentric, author with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. Throughout the film, Melvin engages in ritualistic behaviors such as compulsions that disrupt his interpersonal and professional life. This cinematic representation of psychopathology accurately depicts the functional interference and distress associated with OCD. Mainly, he struggles with contamination-related obsessions and engages in ritualistic behaviors which serve to reduce his obsessional anxiety. One obsession that Melvin suffers from is a fear of contamination. Melvin first shows this obsession through the compulsion of cleaning himself. He uses steaming hot water and a brand new bar of soap when washing his hands. He uses the bar of soap for only a few seconds, throws it away, and then opens a new bar of soap to use. Another way Melvin shows his fear of contamination is by always wearing gloves when he's outside of his apartment. He is afraid to touch anything with his bare hands when he does not know that it is clean. He also throws the gloves away after wearing them because he thinks they have been contaminated. Melvin shows extreme anxiety when people try to touch him. The thought of being touched by another person and becoming contaminated controls him, and he makes a very conscious effort to avoid being touched. Another way of his fear of contamination is check objects repeatedly, such as doors and locks. He constantly checking locks and unlocks the door 5 times, turns the light on and off 5 times. His intrusive thoughts always break in, and these can have a sufferer checking the door is locked multiple times before being convinced things are fine. Another way that engage in his ritualistic behavior, the avoidance, in which he avoids things like he brings his own utensils to his diner, so he does not have to risk contamination from unclean silverware. He lays out his plastic ware in a ritualistic fashion, because this helps him feel less anxious since the world is now more orderly and proper. Next, the obsession of order and the exactness. Melvin tend to engage in compulsive behaviors that include repetitive arranging, organizing, or lining up of objects until certain conditions are met or the end result feels just right. Lastly, his fear of walking on the cracks, and obsession compulsions that his actions cancel out the thought or at least bring some relief from his anxiety by avoiding it. Overall, this film suitably balances an accurate representation of mental illness with the requisite plot. Looking past the complicated interplay of Melvin's personality characteristics and his ritualistic behaviors, As Good as It Gets nicely exposes the daily struggles of a man with OCD. We are shown how everyday tasks consume an excessive amount of time, and more strikingly, we see the dramatic toll that OCD takes on Melvin's relationships. Interestingly though, at the film's conclusion, Melvin's budding romantic relationship flourishes and consequently, he forgets to ritualistically lock the door. Although I desperately wish that overcoming OCD was as simple as finding someone to love, treatment tends to be far more anxiety-provoking and complex. Thank you for watching.